Hello, welcome. This is Liberal AI. How is everyone doing? I just wanted to talk about all this rage and colorism and racism. I just feel like at this point, it's like a rage bait. I feel like they want us to be upset. My thing is, I wonder when a group of people have a discourse for uh, the Black community and you don't like us, but yet still we're always a topic in your conversation. We're always um, important to you guys, and you don't like us. So I'm just curious to know, like, if it wasn't any Black people, would there be anything for you, uh, colorists, racists, antagonists, type of people that sit here and have nothing else to do but to talk about Black people? I feel like you're bored. I feel like a lot of times you like to get a reaction out of us. Um, I used to be that type of person. I used to be the person that would get in a rage and be triggered by a lot of the racist remarks that I would see on the, I call it the nigger net, because it's so much ignorance, and nigger means ignorant. So I see a lot of people sometimes, even with myself, with the cyberbullying or asking me stupid questions. And I always feel like you get a stupid question, you get a stupid answer, or you get sarcasm from me, or I just remove it because I don't have time anymore to behave in a way that gets me out of my character. I feel like a lot of the times, a lot of these things are done because they want us to be upset. Um, Especially with the Natasha doll, as far as the Asian community, smashing the doll, having a lot of fun. It's like an aggression. It seems like there's so-called Black fatigue. I remember going to the laundromat to wash big items. Sometimes you don't want to mess up your washer, and I will go and like wash like comforters and things like that. Anyway, so I remember me and my daughter having a good conversation. We were laughing, and we were sitting next to three Filipino women. I knew they were Filipino. And because of the certain language, I've been, watching a lot of stuff with South Asia and things like Southeast Asia. And so I just wanted, I kind of get familiar with the dialogue and certain languages. So she left and parked on the other side. So I guess we were, enjoying our Black joy. It was too loud. And when people do stuff like that, it's like I would want to say, then make your own world, because we're not going anywhere. As a Black collective, as a community, we've been here on four corners of the earth, even before the slave trade. So I don't understand what's the issue. And then every time the archaeologists look up, the foreign bones and things like that, when it comes to findings of skeletons, or they want to say dinosaurs or what have you, these fossils is the correct word. So I just feel like, it's an origin, and it's not a showing off. It's not trying to be the first for everything, because I've seen the comments where people are like, oh, they want to be the first for everything. They're always the first woman, they this, that, whatever. They just want to make themselves feel special. We don't want to make ourselves feel special. We know we are special. It don't have nothing to do with that. I also had somebody from Galactic Science ask me, why do I have 666 on my username? And so I wasn't going to go into the Eve gene and talk about the 6 neurons, the 6 protons, and the 6 electrons that is only found in the melanated woman. So I didn't want to get into that, because you can go ahead and look it up yourself. 666 has nothing to do with the devil. All right, so we're going to stop the foolishness. Okay, because I'm not for the foolishness. Then the person had the nerve, I don't know, he or she or it came under the video with me talking about Cyrus Belton. And I'm like, wow, you find this, that was so convenient for you to make that particular comment about 666. Stop trying to play dumb games, right? The reindeer games is so annoying at this point. Anyhow, I'm not going to make it too lengthy. I just wanted to say that I feel like a lot of the times, a lot of people that say these things are frustrated within themselves. They're miserable. They're not happy with their lives. And if for you to be so mad that we have Black joy, if it's not a Black woman's hair, if it's not the way we speak, there's always something for, oh, the bubbly girl, the ghetto girl, the this, that, the that, that. Whatever you want to talk about, I just feel like it's all stemming from jealousy, envy, and being nosy beyond compare. Because I don't understand, why is it that you're so concerned about what Black people do, what Black people say, where Black people hang out, especially with that man that did that ungodly thing for the grandmother's celebration, with the people having a great time, and here he comes with a gun to shoot up the joy. You understand me? I just feel like you're bored, and you need to find something to do besides talking about Black people and what Black people are doing. Now, if it's a collective and we are schooling each other about our behavior, now by all means, yes, that is something I would really encourage. But at the end of the day, we all have free will and we all have our own lives to live. I don't understand why it's such a concern with non-Black people worrying about Black people and what they're doing, because from what I'm seeing, y'all be doing a lot of things that is ungodly. A lot of stuff that's ungodly. Okay? And I feel like we as a people um need to stop, because I feel like they do it just to get a rise out of us. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to do, because everybody is at free will, and they are able to speak what they want to speak and however they feel. So I would never discourage anybody from speaking their piece, because I believe in speaking truths and things like that. So I would never say, oh, be quiet and don't say anything. No, speak whatever is on your mind, you know what I mean? And you just be mindful, or just know that it comes with consequences, because people are going to have an opinion, right? But I just feel at this point, it's really just a lot of rage baiting. They do it on purpose, it's always something. It doesn't matter what we do. You know what I mean? And I've noticed that no matter what profession you're in, no matter how much money you have, what statuses, and it doesn't matter. They're still gonna have something to say. So I just feel like we should just ignore it and then see if they will continue to edge on the foolishness, because that's what it is. The Natasha doll is just ridiculous. I'm laughing. I didn't laugh at the fact that they made the doll. I laughed at the stupidity and the ignorance of smashing a doll of a dark skin tone when they know their history. Their forefathers or grandfathers, ancestors have our skin tone. So it's like you're hating yourselves in a way. It's just that over time and migration, and we know about the evolution of human beings coming together from different races, and we have biracial people, is very ignorant at this point, because some of them they have grandchildren that have Black blood, you know and the lineage is a lot of Blasians, and so I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say I feel like it's all a lot of rage bait. Um, I've dealt with it in working in casinos here, in Vegas and stuff like that, where it was a lot of colorism and disrespect, especially if you're a woman that has problems. And that's another thing too. A lot of people don't understand that there's different dynamics when we're a Black single woman. We don't have a lot of resources for like daycare, or we might not have family support and things of that nature. But all these things are orchestrated because they wanted us to be on the bottom, as far as when it comes to the nations and different races and things like that. So, I feel like it's programmed, and we should deprogram ourselves and start worrying about what we can do as a collective, as the Black community, so we don't have to deal with certain things. I know there's a lot of Black enterprises, corporations, companies, banks that's starting to open. There's a lot more grocery stores. There's a lot more people with brands as far as like dish detergent, laundry detergent, things like that. So we just, need to start to find it. And I feel sometimes some of our Black entrepreneurs or business owners have to worry about the dollar amount on their product. So it might seem very expensive to us. So we go elsewhere to spend our dollar to stretch the dollar. But I feel like we should try to enhance more of a collective to put the wealth back in our community, because they don't care about our communities. They really don't. They just really care about the money. And, they would never know what it is to be followed. Of course, every race experiences a lot of racism and colorism, but a lot of times it's not the hands of Black people. A lot of the times it comes from the other people that they discard, but they always looking and shining the light on us. So, I just wanted to say that it really got under my skin, because I just was like, I see the rage, I see us talking about stuff, but I mean, what can we really do? But we could ignore. And I know that's going to be hard to swallow, because ignoring things that just keep on blatantly disrespecting us as a culture, as a community, all the things that we choose to do just to enjoy ourselves. And not all the time we are commended for wearing our natural mane. There's some places that don't. I remember going to a halal place, and the guy, just the whole interview, he stared at my hair, and I felt it. And then, because I'm a spiritual person, I could see him saying, I really don't want her coils probably falling into the food. I mean, let's just be real. He didn't say that verbatim, but from his eyes and his body language, that's all he kept looking at. I've seen dating shows where even some of our own Black men say she could have did something better with her hair. So hair has always been an issue. There is some men that love our mane. There is some men that love the natural woman, but not a lot of us. And some of us also too are disgraced by how we look on a natural. So when you're embracing it and trying to look a certain kind of way, we do have to be extra groomed, if you will. There's still schools saying that children have to get rid of their dreadlocks and things like that. So I mean, it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know and you haven't been born in Black skin, I don't think you should have anything to say about what we do and how we should do it. But you obviously, there's a lot of people that just have a problem with us being Black and happy. You know what I mean? We can't smile. We can't have a good time. We can't toss the weave or whatever. We don't know ourselves. It's always something. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It matters what's up here. It matters what's in here. Okay? And that's the bottom line. But we live in a world that people beg to differ, and they just don't have nothing else to do but to talk about Black people's business. I mean, hey, but I have learned to ignore. I've been in a lot of places. I've worked different corporations and things like that, and I've watched even some of the people that have our skin tone that behave uh, Caucasian, as they act like because they're in certain neighborhoods, or they have a certain car, or they're around certain people, that they're excluded from the Black experience. So I mean, what are we gonna do? But I just feel like this is what they do, and they love to edge on, and they love to get us riled up, and so they can say, see, I told you, because there's this fake Black fatigue foolishness going on. And I have a lot of fatigue, but I don't have time to sit down because you know why? At the end of the day, I still have to live my Black life experience. So I try to live it as isolated as I can. Not to say I'm not excluding the outside world, because I still have to deal with being sociable in this world, in this climate, because you can't just be stuck in a house all the time, right? And also, me being on this platform, sometimes you do have to find ways because you might have to deal with people on a social court. But my thing is, I feel like they're just so bent out of shape. And I just always say to myself, we was to go somewhere and there was nothing to talk about, they would still find a way to find us. I just feel like this way. But if that's the case, make your own world. They'll be going to the space. They go underground. They do all these different things. And they're still concerned about what we're doing. So I feel like we are special. And that's why we act accordingly. We are. We are special people. Okay? And that's all I'm going to say. Have a great one. And to my Menelated family, be blessed, be encouraged. Always keep pushing and keep moving forward. All right? Have a good one. Peace.